Hey everybody, welcome to Junk Bucket Garage. Today we're going to work on what I think is kind of a forgotten or looked over modern muscle car. When I say modern muscle car, I'm talking about like the GTO that they re-released. You know, there's a Camaro, the Challenger, of course. And do you consider a four-door car a muscle car? I do. I mean, it's a rear-wheel drive, V8 powered, American-made muscle car. Four doors is cool with me. I like them. Well, you know, Pontiac made a G8. Holden made something called a Commodore. Now, when Pontiac went under in the United States, GTOs didn't stop being made. They went over to Australia. They went over there to the land of shrimp and Barbies, and they made a car called a Monaro. Well, it's a GTO basically. It's a Holden Monaro. And then they also made a car called a Holden Commodore. And it was the extra two-door version of that Monaro that was the GTO. And they made it over there for a while. It had a 6-liter LS piston turner in it. It had a 6-speed automatic or a 6-speed, 5-speed standard. I don't remember. I don't know for sure. I don't live in Australia. But you know, Chevrolet made a car too. And it was a 4-door, 6-liter V8 rear-wheel drive muscle car. A lot of people don't know about it because it wasn't offered to you just regular old civilian people. You're not allowed, you can't have that. No. Well, they tried. They made like I think it was called an SS. It didn't go over very well, but here's this is called a caprice. Capricorn. This is the Capri. This is a 2013 year flavor. It's got cop wheels, cop tires, cop engine, it's called a PPV, and that's not when you video yourself in the first person. No, it's the police pursuit vehicle. It's got the 6-liter LS engine. It's got a 6-speed automatic transmission. It's rear-wheel drive. It's only got 90,000 miles on it, and I picked it up really cheap because it don't run. Why do I do that? Anyway, this one, the fuel pump don't work. But you know, I hooked a battery onto her and I did one of those and I listened with my ear holes and I didn't hear any engine damage or missing cylinder holes or lack of compression or none of that stuff. So I said, yeah, I'll take it. Anyway, it's here. So it's a wide car. A lot of people don't realize these Capris, they're wide body. They got the flared out fender like that, and the tire goes way out there. I mean, I think it's a good looking car. Of course, it's got some cop stuff that, you know, take it off, leave it on, whatever. I'm gonna take it off. I'm gonna try to make it look civilian. I'm gonna, you know, I like the black wheels. I'm gonna leave those. That's got to be fixed. That just adds character. I think I'll just be able to pull that out a little bit. You can kind of see that it still says sheriff on the door. It's got these things that make light come out of them. He told me he still has these marker lights and he's going to send them to me. He was nice enough to give me a back seat because these don't come with the civilian back seat. It'll clean up really nice. I mean, it's got the navigations, it's got the Bluetooths, it's got air conditioning, it's even got power seats. And would you believe that it has armor in the doors so that when I'm rolling dirty and the popos come after me or whatever, the doors are bulletproof. I don't know what that mirror does, but it looks fancy. It's got rubber floor mats in case you have an accident in your pants when you're chasing a suspect. The one thing that kind of stinks about these police pursuit capris and the fact that they didn't make them for civilian use is they never made a center console for these. It was just some square blocky thing with a cup holder, and they had their computers and, you know, perp finder stuff there. So I'll have to figure something out there. I think we can make it work. Oh my god, I hurt myself. I think we can make it work. In the back here, it had this big old cage thing. I'll show you that real quick. It weighed about 400,000 pounds. And the mold, you know, that was free with purchase. The seat belts are there. So it'll be a 4-seater, five-seater. I think you could stick someone in the middle. Sure is. Look, there's a seat belt right there. I gotta get the door pan. Anyway, it's got tires. Here's the trunk. I don't know what this means, but there's a spot for more batteries. This one's got all the electronic digital maker happener of fires on it. So I thought that was the one that ran the car. Nope. That's the one that runs the car. And I don't know what this one does. I'm sure it was for the red and blue lights and the sirens and the beep boop beep computers and all that stuff. I don't know what it does now. Maybe I'll remove all of that stuff. That'll be some wiring for another hot rod someday. It's missing this thing. I think this is where the subwoofer goes when you want to have your beats pounding real loud, playing some Celine Dion. But that's the car. We're gonna get to looking at it. I did hook the battery up, turn the key on. Well, that's enough talking about the car. I think I'll do something to try to make it run. I did put the key in and I turned the key on, and my shot out ears could not hear a fuel pump running. So, yeah, it's definitely not fuel pumping. We'll start with the easy stuff that we can get to, because getting to the fuel pump in this car, you don't want to do that. It tells you got to take out the drive line, some of the suspension, some of the body bracing, something of some other thing, and then drop the whole fuel tank out, and it's got 500,000 things connected to it. And I don't want to deal with that. So I'll start with the easy stuff. That is fuses and relays, which this doesn't have. After I started researching, it's got a fuel control module. And some people think it's located behind the engine on the firewall, and some people think it's located at your and talking word. The flowers in June are green. Some people think it's on the back of the engine bay, behind the engine. Some people think it's at your Aunt Nancy's house. I don't know where it is, so we're going to take a look around and see if we can troubleshoot that fuel control module. It won't work. Well, the guy that I bought the car from said that the fuel pump wasn't working, so they troubleshooted it. And the way that I'm seeing that they troubleshooted it is they tore up a bunch of wires and probed them, maybe? Like an alien probing. And then they took this wire and they wired it onto that wire, which I don't know why they did that, because it was already over here. And then they did this to it. And just, I don't know. Do you take that and then rub sticks together and make fire? I don't know. Well, I tell you what, this is a good way to make a fire. So I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna fix that. Well, there's a couple ways I can do this, and one is I can just take some tape and wrap that wire up. But you know, lately I just don't trust electrical tape that much. It doesn't seem to want to do much. So what I'm actually gonna do is, I've got these butt connectors that are heat shrink, and then when they heat shrink, they melt down and they make a waterproof seal. So everywhere they strip that wire, I'm just gonna clip it off, strip this end back, put a good butt splice in it, and then use that heat shrink to shrink it down. Well, I got those wires fixed. I think before I do any cranking on the engine, I'm gonna check the fluids. Yep, there's fluid. That's about the only one I care about right now, as long as the engine has some oil. So when I'm doing all my research and trying to figure out what's going on with this, I turned the key on and the fuel pump doesn't make any noise. So I started looking, and this has a fuel pump control module, and it's hidden behind this battery right here. If I dig back in there and flip this down, there's no module connected to that. So that's telling me somebody's either already tried to work on it and narrowed it down to the fuel pump, or somebody stole it, or I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But wouldn't it be nice if that's why the fuel pump wasn't working? Well, we're not that lucky. Anyway, when I bought the car, it came with a brand spanking new fuel pump that all the packaging is written in Chinese. And it came with two of these that apparently this gentleman robbed off of 2 cars. But when I was looking around and we found those wires all spliced up and some wire jumped over to it and all that nonsense, I can't believe he would do all of that and not think of checking this. So we're gonna plug that into there like that and just see what happens. All right, well, we hooked that up. This is test shot number 1. I'm gonna turn this key on and listen. I hear a fuel pump running. There's no way. Car runs. No way. Oh, no, it's got a low tire. That must be why they sold it. It's got a low tire. Oh, shoot, I almost got a half a tank of gas too. No way. I think I might have won on this one, guy. That's that 6-liter V8. Burn away. I don't smell anything untoward in the exhaust. I don't hear any weird noises or thumps or knocks. Ladies and gentlemen, that car's running. It's idling. Sometimes you win, I guess. What's winning? I don't know what that means. I don't hear anything that sounds wrong with it. Still don't know why there's a second battery. That's done. Car revived. Guess I should make sure it has a transmission. That's about it. Let's see if it transmits. Right into reverse. Right into drive. It's already tagged and registered and all that stuff. Shoot, I can drive this thing now. Well, it said on the dash that there were some low tires on here. That must be why they sold it cheap, because the tires were low. That's all I can think of. I checked on the door and it says the front takes 39 and the rears take 44. Okie dokie. Got my trusty gauge here because this trusty gauge don't work. Oh, that's low. It's pretty a lot of pressure. It's pretty a lot. It's a lot. It's just a bunch. Yep, it's a bunch. That's exactly 38.75. Give or take 1 or 2 pounds. I'll go around and get the rest of them. All right, so here's what we did. I changed the fuel pump module and it ran. So next step, put some air in the tires because they said they were low. I checked the fluids. I haven't cleaned anything. I haven't done anything. I've got the seats for it. None of that is necessary for this part. Let's just go drive it. Let's see what it is. Let's see what it does. Contact. Well, that didn't seem right. Maybe there is another problem. All right then, let's go check. Well, I thought we got lucky. Maybe we didn't. Maybe this is just getting a bad connection. I don't know. Let's try this one. Well, I don't understand why one control module would work and then not work. So we're going to put the other control module in, just because it worked the first time. I don't hear a fuel pump running. Well, it ran before. Why would it stop now? Well, now we're back to diagnosing. Let's see if we're getting power to the fuel pump, and we're probably going to have to cut a hole in the floor. Well, I did nothing, and the fuel pump is back on, and the car is running again. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to check the harmonic dampener though, because I feel a little vibration in the front when it first starts. I don't know what that's all about, but should I risk test driving it? Yeah, I should. Well, it ran. I'm a little concerned about that fuel pump issue coming on, going off thing. I played with some things and did some things and nothing happened, and then all of a sudden something happened. So these cars do have an issue on the plug that plugs into the fuel pump of a wire burning, and then you get intermittent signal to the pump. So I think I'm gonna have to go ahead and cut a hole in there and check that, replace it if I need to. Some serious talk real quick. I gotta get down with you. You like spaghetti? I like spaghetti. And I'm not just thinking about spaghetti because my wife's picking some up from our favorite place and bringing it home. Anyway, check engine light is on. Let's see what that's all about. I just gotta find my code reader. It's out here somewhere. Okay, here we go. Where's this go? I sat down too soon. Oh no. Yep, nope. All right. Did I bring the key? Oh yeah. We got keyage. 100%. Boy, this thing has got a interesting smell. Yep. It smells like mold. Criminals. Still waiting. Connecting. In process. Oh, now I gotta have the ignition on. So this is saying something about the fuel pump control module doing a thing and stuff and junk. I'm gonna clear the fault codes. And then we'll see if it comes back on or not. How about that? And I don't see any live data on here for the fuel pump. So it did throw 2 more fuel pump codes. It says fuel pump primary circuit and lost communication with fuel pump control module. So somewhere there's something happening that's causing it to lose communication with the fuel pump. I'm pretty sure it's going to be that burnt wire on that connection, which means we got to cut a hole in the floor, because I'm not doing all that nonsense taking the suspension apart. So we'll have to cut a hole in the floor, the back seat, under the back seat, and check that fuel pump connection. But hey, at least we know the car runs good. That's a plus, right? Well, basically the fuel pump is located right under this hump. And it shows just making a circle that kind of matches the contour of this and then going all the way around with it. I actually kind of see a little contour here, or maybe, I don't know. I'm just going to come out to about here, cut a straight line all the way across, and open this whole section up so that I know I have plenty of room. Well, we got into here to this fuel pump. You got to be careful if you're going to cut into these, because those wires are really close to the top. I just made sure I didn't cut down below the metal at all, and it looks like we're okay. I popped this connector off fully expecting there to be a burnt connection on there, and those all look really good. We'll check all these wires, make sure nothing's damaged. I don't see anything that looks like it would be. See, I actually cut the shielding right there, but missed the wire. Or did I? Nope, looks like I nicked that one. So I'll have to do a little repair there. Shoot. Oh well, no big deal. Yeah, I don't see anything burnt. I don't see any reason why this fuel pump wouldn't be working unless the pump itself was bad. I don't know, maybe we'll consider changing it to that other pump. Make sure nothing's damaged on here. Oh, come on. Those all look good. I don't see anything on there that gives me any concern. That's going to be a bugger to get off. You're supposed to use a special tool to get to that. And you know I'm not doing that. Maybe I'll make something. But I don't see anything just jumping out in my face telling me that there's a problem. Huh. Maybe there's something going on with this, where they cut these wires up. I don't know. We'll have to just look around. I don't know. It seems like I got about a 50-50 chance that brand new parts are going to work. So you got to have a special tool to take the ring off, the locking ring off. So I'm not going to buy one. I'll just make something that'll work. And that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to go and swap that fuel pump out, plug it all back in. I might change that fuel pump control module one more time, and then we'll check everything out and see what happens. I am going to go ahead, and when I put all of these electrical connectors back together, I'm going to put some dielectric grease in them. That seems to help with connectivity and keeping everything clean and keeping dirt and dust out of there. It also helps if anything ever gets wet. That stuff's waterproof. It keeps the connections from burning. Santa County? Never heard of that. Well, let's see if the Junk Bucket Garage Custom Removal Tool Thing 2000 will work. I didn't think I put that all the way back. Ow! That's still hot. Still hot. How did I get it off the first time? That's still hot. Ow, that's still hot. I need to spread that apart just a little bit. Just a little bit.
What are you doing?
All right, spread these apart a little bit. They should fit now. I have to spread this apart just a smidgen more. Oh, just a smidgen more spreaders.
Spread 5. Yeah.
Oh, we're in there now.
Wait, watch.
Oh yeah! Okay. That's gonna take some elbow grease. I do not want to cut myself. Oh, it wiggled. It wiggled. So that's just gonna do that. So there's really not a lot holding it, and then we're gonna turn it.
Ready? Here, kind of.
Yeah, you can bend it.
All
Just
the way
be
back?
careful, it's sharp. Just do what you want to it. Just like you do to me. Oh, nailed it. Okay. Oh, that tank is really, really full.
How do you?
Uh-oh.
Gotta burp the bladder. Burp it. Good job.
That is really, really full of gas.
A little bit.
It said it only had like 3/4 of a tank.
Well, I guess someone's lying to you. I never believe the law anyways. Holy shit, dude. Oh my god.
Okay, let's see here. No, I know on this side there's a line
Is it?
connected to the bottom of the pump.
Yeah, there's no leak.
That's called gasoline, sweetheart.
Gasoline.
Yeah. Actually, Uncle Otto's peeing his pants. He's so excited.
That's what it is.
What happened? Why does that kind of smell good?
That side out.
Yeah, that smells
there it
kind of
is.
good.
Is it on here? A little push button?
You gotta push
There, hold on.
in on the whole thing and then squeeze it and then pull it out. So push in, squeeze, then pull out. There you go. You got it.
Come on, bitch. Pull.
And then pull that up and out
There.
so that we don't lose it.
That's hooked there.
And now I gotta get this out. Since that's full to the top, I'm just gonna move this.
Wow, that is a lot of fuel. Jesus.
Is that camera still facing us?
Let me see. Oh yeah, it's got you in there. I'm gonna put this on there before you put that in there.
Yeah, go ahead. seem like it seems like the top is different.
Where's the other one? It is.
Oh, it just doesn't have this.
Yeah, it doesn't have that. You have a smaller lip.
Oh, shoot.
Here, one sec.
I gotta be able to get this wrench on it. Might be able to go here. That. Does it help you?
Yeah, here. I got this. I got this out. Oh, oops.
Okay, let me know when you're ready.
Go.
Oh, that doesn't seem right at all.
No.
Owie. Fart freaking.
There you go.
Okay, let me get this on here.
You ready?
1,
2, 3. There we go.
Ooh-wee.
That was a bitch. Did that just cut that?
No, I'm just making sure it's not cut. I know that I cut into the shielding.
Watch those wires.
Watch your fingers on this. This is really sharp.
You got a little bit of copper showing on there.
I'll put a piece of tape
Yeah,
right in there.
electrical tape.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Eugene. How? How did you manage that?
Well, that's the end of that.
Did you not see me touch it? Yes, it's broke.
That's easily fixed.
Yeah, I'll fix it right now.
Hold on. This is what happens when you let me touch things.
I already fixed it, kind of.
That is way too fragile to be on Junk Bucket Garage.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Your face is why we can't have nice things.
I will throw punch the shit out of you.
All right, new fuel pump in. We got that fuel pump control module in. We hooked up the battery. There's still a little gas everywhere and the car didn't explode, so that's good. That connector wasn't burnt, but I put some dielectric grease on it, make sure it's getting a good connection. That's a new fuel pump. So now let's just turn the key on and see if that fuel pump comes on. I hear fuel pumpage. For sure. Battery cables. They're not tight like you. Here you go.
Well, nothing's on fire yet.
Car's running, but it did that before.
What was it doing it before?
See, this says it only has like a quarter of a tank.
That's both your fuel gauges off. Obviously.
Or that part of the tank is really low so that the pump is always down at the bottom of the tank. And when you fill it up, it fills up.
Well, shouldn't that float all the way up instead of just staying at the quarter tank then?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Maybe it is messed. Maybe
I have a bad gauge.
maybe I bent that. I don't freaking know. All right, I'm gonna go back in here and make sure that there's no pending codes. Should probably drive it first, but I'm just gonna check it one time. So for some reason, it's still bringing up a fuel pump code, primary circuit, and lost communication with module. But the car is running and the fuel pump is working. Oh, up here?
Yeah.
Your airbag don't work. It's okay because you don't have a seat belt. This is Matt. This is test crash dummy number 1. Here we go.
That's fat people accessible vehicles in Australia.
Dude, this is like the most Biggest inside of a vehicle we actually fit in this car.
Get off the cupcakes, huh?
Why would you want to do that?
These lights still work?
Yeah, but I think they work off of that other battery.
Because those seems like they're the most important part of the car.
Right?
Exactly.
Oh, the air conditioning works.
Does it really?
Yeah. It even reads out up here. Just turn it down. Turn this zone. We'll set the temperature at a nice cool 70 degrees. And here's a tray. Oh, no, there's the tray. Ah! I got no check engine light this time. Last time I had a check engine light immediately. If you ever buy one of these, you're going to want to change the springs right away because they're made to ride so rough with so much weight in the back to make it a little bit smoother. And when you take all that weight and equipment out, they just ride really rough.
Smells like gasoline.
That's a good smell.
Sex Panther?
60% of the time, it works every time. Yeah, that's the safety restraint device. We don't need that. We got these. Yours work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Button clicks. I don't know if the lights are on.
Turn it where you can see it.
Hey!
No way.
Does yours work?
No.
Mine does. Do you know what that means? We need to get this licensed up and go around and yell at homeless people.
It's already all licensed and registered.
So yes. Hey you!
These cars, they gave us plates and everything. Let's turn on the ice cube juice. Fuel gauge works.
Oh, it does. Well, now it's saying you have 3/4. You probably do.
No, it's saying a quarter.
Oh. Well, it's Australian. Maybe that's why. Maybe they have these full.
Oh, they got to convert it from Australian measurements to American. I got you. Oh shoot! What? Performance mode. Push that button. Sport shifting.
Normal shift.
Now. Sport shift.
Where's ludicrous speed?
Performance mode. Traction control is off. Hold on a minute.
There's a car coming. Watch over this guy.
It's got some balls.
Yeah, my forehead can tell that.
It's fast. Jesus Christ!
This fucking thing's got some balls.
This thing is fun.
See what it does on this road. Jesus Christ.
It's fast.
It's a little fast.
Holy moly.
Go.
Well, that was 100 miles an hour. Instantly. All right. No check engine light. Car seems to be running great. We found out it has a performance mode and a performance shift mode. That's pretty cool. Let's see if the e-brake worked at all. No. Still e-brake don't work. Well, we're gonna put this back together now. And I was thinking about doing a couple of welds, but I want to make sure that fuel pump sender is reading the correct reading and all that stuff and junk. So I think I'm just going to take a couple of pieces of strapping and some tech screws or self-tapping screws, screw it down, and then I'll put some seam sealer or something around the seam to seal it up. I might even just use duct tape. I don't know. It gets a seat that covers it up anyway. As long as no moisture can get in there, we'll be okay. This way, if I ever need to get back in there, it's just a simple set of 4 screws and peel this door back up and we're good to go. Works for me. That's good enough for me. That'll stay put. There's not going to be any weight on it, and I'll seal all of those edges up. There's something that won't let water in, and we're good to go. And there you go, guys. A Chevy Caprice PV is running and driving. It was cheap. It's pretty fast. I was impressed. And it's a car. I got to take the interior completely out of this thing and clean it because, I mean, you think of a car that's picking up undesirables all day, every day. And imagine in your mind the worst stuff that can happen inside that car and then just go, yeah, it happened. It looks like a crime scene in there. So lots of bleach. Everything's got to come out. I hope you enjoyed this. Let your friends know, Junk Bucket Garage. Give us a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.